Welcome to SpectrumTv News at 12. I am Uyai Aniekan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the major stories. President Buhari to review naval warships others on the 22nd of May. Business operators in Uyo call for government support on small and medium-sized enterprises. Plus, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine needs more time for counter-offensive. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon. First in the news this afternoon is Nigeria's leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, who will on May 22nd review warships, gunboats and helicopters for the Nigerian Navy. The Chief of Police of Plans, Navy, Rear Admiral Saidu Garba, said this in Abuja while briefing newsmen on the preparations for the Presidential Fleet Review 2023. Garba said the fleet review scheduled to hold from May 19 to May 22 in Lagos has the theme Fleet Readiness for National Helicopter and the ceremonial sailing past exercise combat and aerial displays. Away from that, the Federal Economic Council FEC has approved the sum of 129.8 billion naira for various projects in the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, particularly the mandate of the United Nations Environment Programme on Ogoni cleanup. The senior special assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, disclosed this to journalists after the council meeting presided over by Vice President remediation of newly identified hydrocarbon impacted sites. Recall that in August of 2011, the United Nations Environment Programme released its environmental assessment of Ogoni land. The report, which was inaugurated by and delivered to the Goodluck Jonathan administration, made recommendations to the then government, the oil and gas industry and communities to begin a comprehensive cleanup of Ogoni land, restore polluted locations and end all forms of ongoing oil contamination in the region. The operation was eventually flagged off in June of 2016 by the Vice President with the re-inauguration of the cleanup project and set up hydrocarbon pollution remediation project HYPREP to oversee the total rehabilitation of the contaminated and polluted sites of Ogoni communities. Meanwhile, the federal government has announced that Nigeria's oil production is currently lower than its technical allowable capacity by about 1 million barrels per day. It attributed the low oil output to challenges such as lack of investment, insecurity, and reduction in hydrocarbon funding arising from energy transition, among others. The government disclosed this through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission at the host community sensitization workshop with the theme, the implementation of the host communities development trust held in Abuja. The Commissioner Economy, Regulatory and Strategic Planning, NUPRC, Kelechi Ofoegbu, represented by Komolafe, noted that while the Commission is prioritizing efforts towards increasing oil and gas production and ensuring maximum federation revenue through the optimization of oil and gas value chain, the efforts have been constrained by a myriad of challenges. In the meantime, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has said that the country is advancing its tax reforms and working on how to bring the digital businesses into the tax net. Ahmed made this known at the 25th Annual Tax Conference of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Bashir Abdul Kadir, said the ministry would work on the outcome of the conference and drive its future position with subsequent engagements. She added that the ministry is working on the challenges facing businesses in the country to have a robust engagement on how Nigeria can harness the potentials to benefit from the digital economy. Elsewhere, the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, in Benin City, said the World Bank has granted a one-year extension for the Nigeria Care Program. Agba said the program was initiated to support micro, small and medium-scale enterprises to cushion the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The minister stated this at the ministerial town hall meeting for beneficiaries of the scheme from Edo, Delta, Bayelsa and River State. He added that the patient by COVID-19 was still not over and still affecting the states. On legislature, the Senate has indicted the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA) of financial misappropriation and ordered the agency to recover the sum of $10 million it paid as legal and technical charges without recourse to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. The indictment was a sequel to the reports of 2017 and 2018 of the Auditor General of the Federation, considered by the Senate's Public Accounts Committee, which was upheld at the plenary session. The $5 million was said to be 5% of the 9.3 necessary legal actions that would enable NIMASA to perfect intelligence-based efforts to track the nation's hydrocarbon global movement. Addressing journalists, the Vice Chairman of the Senate's Public Accounts Committee, Hassan Hadija, said the committee had been able to submit 2015 to 2018 reports to the Senate. In a separate development, former Minister of Power Sali Maman has been arrested by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over an alleged 22 billion naira said to be in connection with the Commission's ongoing investigation into alleged corruption in the execution of some power projects. Specifically, Maman is alleged to have conspired with staff of the ministry in charge of the accounts of the Zungeru and Mambila hydroelectric power projects and diverted 22 billion naira, which they shared amongst themselves. Taraba-born Maman, who was appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari in August of 2019, was dismissed exactly 2 years after in 2021. State capital have called on the state government to support them through the provision of grant or loans to assist in improving the productivity of their businesses. Our correspondent Esther Toyo reports.
Medium-sized operators in Uyo have complained the high rate of taxation and the negative impact of the cash crunch on their business. They said in an interview that multiple taxation is one of the major factors affecting their business.
We pay and there are so many. Fake tax, I'm telling you, 30,000, 15,000. They will come different types. Different types of receipt. We don't even know the one that is government owned. They will drag you to pay and they will still be coming to disturb you to pay the tax. As we can see, there is no work, nothing is moving here. But when they came, it's for them to come and get the money from you.
It really affects students by, for example, a student will come around and tell you, okay, I don't have money and there's no money, there's money in the bank, but we cannot go to the bank to withdraw money and come so we can pay our school fees. And that was I think that is what has made the school to extend their portal to this very moment.
The business operators solicit the state government to make available a favorable tax policy that will solve the problem of multiple taxation and enormous tax burdens on SMEs.
The government should trace that so that we know exactly government taxes from government. You understand? And the fake ones.
Looking at the fact that essentially most Nigerians here just want a better life. And if we cannot get better life from the government, at least just don't make us less privileged of having these basic necessities, because starting up a business in you now, making tax collector come and collect your money and everything. I don't believe that the government should just look out for all those people that sells and try and make sure that we have, without being harassment from any agency or the other. I believe we could reduce poverty and also increase the employment rate increase entrepreneurial rate in the country. That's just I just believe.
SMEs, according to reports, has contributed over 50% to Nigeria's gross domestic product (GDP) and accounted for 80% of employment in recent years. Esther Otoyo for Spectrum News.
We move now to Africa. The United Nations Human Rights Council is set to hold an emergency session in Geneva today to discuss the ongoing conflict in Sudan. Now, according to the United Nations, there are reports of widespread human rights violations, including attacks on civilians, sexual violence, and the looting of hospitals. The Council disclosed that several African nations, including Sudan, are reported to be reluctant about the meeting being held, fearing it could jeopardize ongoing ceasefire negotiations. Reports say the session was called for by Britain, the US, Germany, and Norway. Still in Africa, the authorities of Guinea have released 3 civil society activists who had spent between 4 and 10 months in prison. The men from the National Front for the Defense of the Constitution were freed after a day of protests against the military junta, which seized forces, while hospitals reported just 2 deaths. Reports say the protests were the latest in a series of demonstrations against the military leaders who have delayed a return to civilian rule. On the foreign scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says his country needs more time to launch a much-anticipated counteroffensive against Russian forces as its military awaits the delivery of promised military being ready, but said the army still needed some things, including armored vehicles that were arriving in batches. Reports say Ukrainian authorities in recent weeks tried to lower expectations of a breakthrough publicly and privately. Still on the foreign scene, Belgorod Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov has said that additional drone attacks were conducted over Russia's Belgorod region on the border with Ukraine. According to Gladkov, 2 drones detonated and fell over a residential area in the region. No casualties were reported, but damages of 2 residential buildings and a car was recorded. He noted that another governor of Alexander Mogomas said an administrative building was struck in Stardov on the Ukrainian border side, and response teams are also working on the site. Still to come in the news. Inter Milan beats AC Milan 2-0 to take control of semi-final tie in Champions League. Stay with us for details after the break. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. In business, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adebute, has said that the informal training of unprocessed gold is driving capital flight and job losses in the country. This was according to a statement signed by the ministry's head of the press department, Fumi Imatoyen. during the commissioning of the gold processing plant in Mopa Muro local government area of Kogi State. According to the statement, the minister explained that the Nigeria Schist Belt is known to host rich deposits of gold, and the location of the gold processing plant in Mopa will ensure that artisanal and small-scale gold operators within the Schist Belt states can easily have access to the plant for their gold processing and refining activities, respectively. He added that the facility houses state-of-the-art gold processing machinery and equipment, over 30 stalls, an administrative block, a training section, an MMSD office, stable power supply, among others. Still in business, World Bank has disclosed that Nigeria and other metals and mineral resource-rich countries in sub-Saharan Africa can double revenues from natural resources such as minerals, oil, and gas. This was according to a statement by World Bank announcing the new Africa's Resource Future report, noting that the countries in good governance. The Washington-based bank said that on average, countries capture only about 40% of the revenue they could potentially collect from natural resources. The World Bank added that the prospect of higher revenues is significant in countries that are unable to make needed development investments due to high borrowing and debt service cost. On our health news, a United States panel of health experts has voted in favor of making birth control pills available without a prescription, a move backed by reproductive rights advocates, especially in the wake of a Supreme Court ruling overturning the national right to abortion. The independent panel voted that the benefits of allowing the medicine or pill to be sold over the counter outweighed the risk and will reduce hurdles associated with visiting a doctor, which impacts lower income groups. According to reports, the abortion leading to numerous bans and severe restrictions in conservative states. Reports say if the pill is approved, the U.S. would allegedly join more than 100 other countries where the pill is available without a prescription. Still in health, the managing director of Beacon Hill Smile, Dr. Oluwaseun Akimbobola, has said that the survival rate from oral cancer will be around 90% if detected early. Akimbobola said this when the dental clinic under the umbrella of Beacon Hill Smile Foundation held the maiden edition of its oral cancer awareness walk in partnership with Lakeshore Cancer Center to mark the 2023 International Oral Cancer Awareness. In a press statement made available to newsmen, the managing director said oral cancer in Nigeria has reached 0.15% of the total annual deaths in the country and deserves a much-needed worldwide awareness. In sports, Inter Milan took a big step towards reaching the Champions League final as they beat their city rivals in a thrilling Milan derby 2-0 at San Siro. Inter Milan are 3 times winner of the European Cup or Champions League, but have not reached the final since they last lifted the trophy 13 years ago. This is the first they were determined to push on. Still in sports, Nigeria's Golden Eaglet is set to secure a spot at the 2023 FIFA Under-17 World Cup when they take on Burkina Faso in a West African derby today. The quarterfinal clash is built for the Nelson Mandela Stadium, Algiers, and kickoff is 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Reports said this will be the second meeting between both teams within a year after the Golden Eaglet stopped the Young Stallions in the final of WAFI B Under-17 Championship in Ghana last June. On our entertainment news, famous Nigerian rapper and activist Folarin Falana, popularly known as Falz, has called for prayers as he undergoes surgery. Falz made the request in a video posted on his Instagram page. Speaking on his health status, the singer disclosed that he sustained a knee injury in November 2022 while playing football and was advised to go for a knee surgery. Still on entertainment, Nigerian superstar Rema has continued his domination of the Billboard's Afrobeat Song Chart. In the latest installment of Billboard Afrobeat Songs Chart, May 13, Rema's Calm Down continues its historic run at the top of the chart. The single has now spent a record 36 weeks at the top while entering its 59th week on the chart. That's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or at spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anekan. Thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of your day.